18-Day Campaign Against Violence Against Women and Children is an annual international campaign that aims to raise awareness about the various forms of violence faced by women and children and to advocate for their rights and protection. This campaign begins on November 25th, which is the International Day of the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and ends on December 12th, which is the International Day of the Rights of the Child. Violence against women encompasses a wide range of abusive behaviors that are primarily targeted at women because of their gender. Over the next episodes, we will delve deeply into many issues related to violence and their impact, the many inspiring stories and practical steps towards a safer society. Together, let's raise our voices for change. This is 𝐕𝐢𝐴𝐺𝐻, and welcome to our 18-Day Campaign.
Important disclaimer. This podcast may contain content, language, and discussions that could be unsuitable for certain audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the podcast platform. Parental guidance is recommended. Additionally, please be aware that this episode includes discussions about violence against women. A trigger warning is issued, and we encourage sensitive listeners to exercise caution. Thank you for understanding.
Hi and welcome back. This is your host, Atty. Ventosa, and we are now ongoing our 18-day campaign to end violence against women, and we will talk about cyber libel this time. So stay tuned, and we will talk about cyber libel, some examples and videos, what the law defines cyber libel, and the recommended penalties. So let's watch and sit back and relax. So now we will discuss Republic Act 10175, or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. What is the definition of cyber libel according to RA 10175? Section 4C 4 of the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, RA 10175, which punishes the crime of cyber libel, makes reference to Article 355 of the Revised Penal Code. It says here, libel is the unlawful or prohibited acts of libel as defined as in Article 355 of the Revised Penal Code as amended, committed through a computer system or any other similar means which may be devised in the future. So this is cyber libel, and punishes the same set of acts defined under the Revised Penal Code, but outlines its commission through a computer system or any other similar means which may be devised in the future. So here, our definition of cyber libel, it is defined as a public or malicious imputation of a crime or of a device or defect, real or imaginary, or any act, omission, condition, status, or circumstance tending to cause the discredit, dishonor, or contempt of a natural or juridical person, or to blacken the memory of one who is dead, and committed through a computer system or any other similar means which may be devised in the future. So we have here the 6 elements of cyber libel. So these are the elements of cyber libel based on Section 4C 4 of RA 10175 in relation to Articles 353 and 355 of the Revised Penal Code. A, there must be an imputation of a crime or a vice or defect, real or imaginary, or any act, omission, condition, status, or circumstance. So yung imputation ng crime, vice, or defect may be real or imaginary, no? And it can also be any act, omission, status, or condition, or circumstance. B, Ang imputation daw must be made publicly, which requires that at least one other person must have seen the libelous post in addition to the author and the person defamed or alluded to in the post. So dito sa ating definition po, at least 3 tao yung involved, no? Yung gumawa ng post or yung malicious act or omission, yung taong na subject ng paninira at least isang tao na nakapagbasa, narinig, or na-sharean nung post na yon. C, the imputation must be malicious, which means that the author of the libelous post made such post with knowledge that it was false or with reckless disregard as to the truth or falsity thereof. This was cited in the case of 𝐂𝐚𝐦𝐻𝐚 versus the Manila Chronicle Publishing Corporation, GR number 184315, last 25 November 2009. D, the imputation must be directed at a natural or juridical person or one who is dead, which requires the post must identify the person defamed, or at the very least, the person defamed is identifiable by a third person. Okay, so kung hindi man pinangalanan, alam natin kung sino yon. Ang halimbawa, yung kasulukuyang presidente ng Republika ng Pilipinas, so we know that's President Marcos, or yung mayor ng ganito na lugar. So kahit hindi siya in-identify ang pangalan, alam natin na siya yon ang tinutukoy ng malicious post. The imputation must tend to cause the dishonor, discredit, or contempt of the person defamed. Mga corrupt talaga yan. Yan diyang congressman ng distrito ganito, ng lugar na ito. So yon. So that is cited in Reyes, JBL, Revised Penal Code, 15th edition, 2001, page 932. And letter F, the imputation was done through the use of a computer system or any other similar means which may be devised in the future. So ngayon, alam natin, kapag sa cyber crime tayo, pwede sa laptop, cellphone, or any other device. Pero kung ano pa yung mga devices natin in the future, it may be included there kapag yung first 5 elements ay nandoon po. So sino po ang mga persons liable for cyber libel? So any person who shall publish, exhibit, or cause the publication or exhibition of a libelous post, or the editor or business manager of a book, pamphlet, newspaper, magazine, or serial publication containing the libelous material. So itong book, pamphlet, newspaper, yung mga printed materials, no? Yun namang doon sa publish, exhibit, or cause the publication or exhibition of a libelous post, pwede po ito online, no? So sa Article 360 ng Revised Penal Code, sinabi po, persons responsible, any person shall publish, exhibit, or cause the publication or exhibition of any defamation in writing or by similar means shall be responsible for the same. So ito yung dati pa, no, sa ating Revised Penal Code, or by similar means. So nahuhulog na sila dito sa cyber libel kasi dati kung newspaper lang, libro lang, or dito mga pamphlet, ngayon alam natin na meron na tayong mga online publications. Ayan, so we will now watch this cyber libel video for our further understanding.
Biktima ka na ba ng cyberbullying? O minsan, sa kainitan ng diskusyon, napaisip ka at baka mamaya ikaw mismo nang bubuli ka na rin pala.
Have you experienced bullying, especially on the internet? Well, admit it or not, trolls are everywhere. They're just like mushrooms. But I'm telling you guys, if you have been a victim of cyber libel, this video is perfectly for you. So stay tuned.
Cyber libel, mga ka-U3, nasa balita po, nakita po natin, ang Senador Bongo po ay nagpadala po ng subpoena laban po sa isang college student patungkol po sa isang malisyoso na post, quote-unquote malisyoso. Nakasuhan nga at naging guilty according po sa korte si Maria Ressa sa kaso din po na cyber libel. Meron din ako pang isa pang kakilala din na video creator po sa YouTube na pinadalhan din ng subpoena po at lahat po yun ay konektado po sa kaso po na cyber or online libel.
At minsan pa tayo ay nakapag-BBTO, masasakit na salita, laban sa tao o grupo ng mga tao. Ingat po tayo sa mga ganitong sitwasyon dahil maaari po tayong makasuhan ng online libel or cyber libel.
Sino-sinong pwedeng kasuhan?
Ito pong pag-aaralan natin sa video na ito. Ano nga ba ang tinatawag na online or cyber libel? Well, ito po ay binigyan din sa ating Republic Act number 10175, tinatawag na Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, na kung saan isa sa pinaparusahan dito sa batas na ito ang tinatawag na cyber libel. In the said law, Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, it does not define what is libel. Definition is under the revised penal code on libel. Kaya lang, hindi po katulad ng revised penal code. Ang cyber libel ay nagpapataw po ng mas mataas na kaparusahan kaysa sa kaparusahan na minimungkahi ng revised penal code. Bakit po mas mataas na kaparusahan ang minimungkahi sa cyber libel or online libel? Kasi ang sabi ng Supreme Court sa isang kaso, through the use of technology, the offender often evades identification and is able to reach far more victims or cause greater harm. Siyempre nga naman kapag social media yan, Facebook, kaya any other platform, mas marami ang nanonood, mas marami ang nakakabasa.
Widespread na po ang paggagamit ng ating mga social media. Nandyan po yung sa Facebook, may Twitter po tayo, may YouTube, sa Facebook, sa Twitter, okay? Kung saan man pong mga media po ito na may paggagamit sa computer, ay kailangan po mag-iingat po talaga tayo. Lalo pa, may nakatanggap tayo na tinatawag nila mga fake news. So, bago po kayo mag-respond po nyo, ay pag-isipan po nyo ng mabuti kung ito ba ay mayroong paglabag sa batas o hindi.
Okay. Yes, dapat lang mapatunayan mo na ipinost ka niya. Baka mamaya naiipon ng ebidensya laban sa inyo.
Oo nga. Yan po mga kababayan. Pag naipon ng ebidensya, hala kayo. Okay? So pag dumami, kung isa lang, hindi siya mag-stand. Depende dun sa pinost niya, di ba?
Face-based.
Oo. Dude, crap! Gumamit siya ng dummy account. For example, ako, sisiraan ko si ate number 2. Pero gumamit ako ng ibang pangalan. O gumawa ko ng dummy, pero
yes.
Hindi ako matrain.
Kailangan natin ng, ang tawag doon, cyber forensic experts.
Okay.
Tayo yan sa mga NBI, sa mga CIDG, Crime and Investigation and Detection Group ng PNP, ng Kapulisan. Yes, kaya wag din po tayong yung gagawa ng masama, tapos magko-cover tayo ng ng dummy accounts.
Okay.
Anonymous accounts. Matitrain po tayo.
Okay.
Yes. Nagpatulong siya sa mga cyber experts hanggang tunton kung nasaan yung, I don't know kung anong sinabi about Frankie. Parang gano'n. Oo. Natunton na ilang araw lang, nahanap yun. Kaya sabi ko nga, huwag mong iisipin na naka-cover ka sa isang dummy account ay hindi ka mahahanap. With perseverance, talagang hanapin ka nung ginawaan mo ng masama, magpapatulong siya sa mga tamang tao, mahahanap.
Isa po kasi akong biktima ng cybercrime. Ask ko lang po if ano ang parusa o magkano ang penalty sa kasong cyber libel. Tama na may tanong ni Janet. Kasi merong parusa, yung parusa ng pagkakakulong, tsaka meron ding penalty na pinapataw sa isang tao na liable sa cyber libel. Ng cyber libel ay 4 days, 2 months, 4 years, 2 months, and 1 day up to 8 years. So ulitin ko, 4 years, 2 months, and 1 day up to 8 years. Tapos, hindi lang yan. Meron pang fine na ipinapataw ang korte sa pagitan ng 40,000 hanggang 1.2 million pesos, Janet. So, yan ang nakasaad sa ating revised penal code na pinataas ng Cybercrime Prevention Act. Pero hindi lang yan ang pwedeng maklaim na damages. Kung ikaw ay naging biktima ng isang cybercrime tulad ng cyber libel at napilitan ka magdemanda, pwede mong i-claim lahat ng damages na naging ng paninira sa iyo online. Ano ba yung mga damages na to? Unang-una, syempre, kung kinailangan mo magkumuha ng isang abogado, magbabayad ka ng isang abogado, attorney's fees bilang damages. So magkano yung ginastos mo papunta sa korte, magkano yung binayad mo sa abogado, kesyo acceptance fee ito, appearance fee ng abogado, maaari mo siyang i-claim sa kaso. Nangyari yung pagkakasakit mo, dahil sa cybercrime na to, dahil sa cyber law, paninira sa yung online, pwede rin mong i-claim yung mga medical expenses mo sa kaso na yon. Basta lang may pruweba na merong link yung iyong pagkakasakit sa kaso na yon. So meron tayo kasi tinatawag na penalty under the revised penal code. Ito yung penalty for the crime. Tapos meron naman tayong civil damages na pwedeng i-claim. Ito yung sinasabi ko, nabanggit kong attorney's fees. Tapos kung ano mang damages na naging sanhi ng cybercrime na ito, tulad nung, kunwari, pagkalugi mo sa negosyo dahil sa pagkasira ng pangalan mo, or yung pagkakasakit mo, and legal fees rin. Kasama ito na makiklaim bukod dun sa 4 years, 2 months, and 1 day up to 8 years na pagkakakulong at fine na pinapataw ng korte between 40,000 hanggang 1.2 million.
Cybercrime. Pagsuot ng brief.
Usually, pag nagpa-file yung mga tao ng cyberlibel, pag pinapayuan sila ng abogado, sinasali nila yung kaso na unjust vexation. Yung unjust vexation na yun yung catch-all na krimen. So, kung saan, ang titignan lang, kung na-offend mo yung feelings ng isang tao, no, nag-cause ka ng inconvenience, blah, 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 ano ho, yun.
Ang cyberbullying ay ang pagkakalat ng mga hindi tamang informasyon tungkol sa isang tao. Legally speaking, mas maganda ang tawag na online libel. It's the commission of libel in a social media platform. Ano ngayon ang libel? Ang libel ay paninirang puri na na-publish at natukoy kung sino.
So yun nga mga kabagay, diba dapat nag-iingat tayo sa mga pinopost natin sa social media? Hindi yung G tayo lagi, hindi tayo nag-iisip. Dapat nakakonekta lagi yung bibig natin dito. Yan! Kaya lagi nga sinasabi ni Atty. Libayan, when emotions are high, intelligence is low. Sigurado ka sa mga sinasabi mo at matapang ka? Go, panindigan mo. Pero baka balang araw makahanap ka ng katapat mo. Mga kabaguys, ingat-ingat! Makipag-argumento na may laman. At huwag yung tatahol-tahol lang. Char, giggle yarn. Asar ka na ba? Naasar ka na, ano? Asar ka na? Asar ka pa lalo. Gusto ko yung asar na asar.
Alright. So, we hope that we have had a bird's eye view on that video. And we will now continue with our slideshow presentation. And later on, we'll also give practical tips no, dito na banda sa ating cyberbullying topic. Paano yung mga practical tips, paano mag-save ng evidence, no, and how to avoid these kinds of situation. So now we will continue with the penalty for cyber libel. Sinasabi dito, yung penalty for cyber libel, ang traditional libel is punished under the revised penal code, no, as amended by Republic Act 10951. It says here, Article 355, libel by means of writings or similar means. A libel committed by means of writing, printing, lithography, engraving, radio, phonograph, painting, theatrical exhibition, cinematic exhibition, or any similar means shall be punished by prison correctional in its minimum and medium periods, or a fine ranging from 40,000 pesos to 1,200,000 pesos, or both, in addition to the civil action which may be brought by the offended party. So, meron ng pagkakulong dito sa prison correctional in its minimum and medium periods na ilalaad, no? We will show a table later on itong mga range nitong mga imprisonment na to, or a fine of 40,000 pesos to 1.2 million pesos, or both, in addition to the civil action. So yung nabanggit kanina ng mga ating mga resource persons na yung civil action ay kasali na dito yung attorney's fees, yung actual cost natin sa pag-file ng case, no? And kung nagkasakit tayo, if we could prove that it was due to the libelous post or material, and if we also suffered business losses, basta ma-prove lang din natin na the business loss was due to the libelous post or publication. So ang penalty ng prison correctional, its minimum period involved imprisonment from 6 months and 1 day to 2 years and 4 months. Ang prison correctional naman sa kanyang medium period shall be 2 years, 4 months, and 1 day to 4 years. Kaya, kung i-compute natin yung period ng penalty under revised penal code, itong kanyang penalty para sa traditional libel lang ito, hindi ito pa cyber libel. Ang kanyang imprisonment is 6 months and 1 day to 4 years and 2 months. On the other hand, nandito naman po yung penalty for cyber libel. The Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 punishes the crime of cyber libel as follows. Sa Section 6, it states that all crimes defined and penalized by the revised penal code as amended and special laws if committed by, through, and with the use of information and communications technologies shall be covered by the relevant provisions of this act, provided thou that the penalty imposed shall be 1 degree higher than that provided for by the revised penal code as amended and special laws as the case may be. So kapag 1 degree higher, kasi sa traditional libel, ang kanyang penalty, 1 degree higher than that, would be prison correctional in its maximum period to prison major in its minimum period. So let's see the time frame involved. Ito, no? So, nandyan sa first column yung ating penalties. Tapos time included in the penalty in its entirety. Second column, the third column is the time included in minimum period and time included in its medium period. So sa reclusion temporal, nandyan siya 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. Ang sa minimum niya is 12 years and 1 day to 14 years and 8 months. Tapos sa medium period niya is 14 years, 4 months and 1 day to 17 years and 4 months. Sa prison correctional naman, let's start with the minimum period niya, 6 years and 1 day to 8 years. Ang medium niya is 8 years and 1 day to 10 years. Then, and from 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. And so on and so forth. Nandyan po makikita ninyo yung ating mga table of penalties. So, ang penalty for cyber libel is 1 degree higher daw, no, than the traditional libel. So, it will be prison correctional in its maximum period, 4 years, 2 years, and 1 day, to prison major in its minimum period, which is 6 years and 1 day. So, ang kanyang whole duration, based on the revised penal code, 1 degree higher than that, cyber libel involves imprisonment from 4 years, 2 months, and 1 day, and 6 years and 1 day. Prescription. What does prescription mean? Hanggang kailan tayo pwedeng mag-file ng cyber libel dito sa Pilipinas kapag nalaman natin yung, nabasa ba natin yung post, no? Normally, you can file a cyber libel case up to 1 year after the act. However, there are some developments in the law that the case may be filed up to 15 years after, no? Pwede pa raw. So the courts are still trying to determine which prescriptive period applies. The law recognizes the value of reputation and imposes upon him or her who attacks it by slanderous words or libelous publication the liability to make full compensation for the damages done. So noon, kasi sa 1930s, yung ating revised penal code, 1 taon ka lang pwede mag-file ng ng libel after the publication of the libelous material or act. No? Ngayon, ang sabi ng DOJ, Department of Justice, na pwede pa hanggang 12 years katulad ng pag-file nila ng libel case against Maria Ressa. So ngayon may mga debate kung ito bang prescriptive period ng cyber libel is 1 year lang ba or pwede pa bang abot hanggang 12 years. So we will now go to the venue. The venue kasi ng ating criminal cases is usually the place where the act was committed. So kapag non-cyber libel, madali lang kasi nandoon na agad yung tao, nasa physical world, alam natin kung saan yung na-court, or makikita natin kung saan yung opisina ng newspaper or saan yung publisher ng libro. And pwede rin daw, dito sabi na, may be filed in the regional trial court of a province or city where the libelous article is first published or where any of the offended parties actually resides at the time of the commission of the offense. Okay, so Manila, ang ating publication, halimbawa ng magazine, taga Davao ako, pwede doon ko i-file sa Regional Trial Court ng Manila or dito sa Regional Trial Court ng Davao City na dito ako actual resident. Ngayon, kung cyber libel, saan ba pwede? Ang venue is, ang sabi, the Regional Trial Court located is the venue to file in the cyber libel in the Philippines. So, medyo mahirap, no? Sabi kasi dito na na-remove ang possible venue because of online article can be accessed from anywhere. So medyo magkaroon tayo ng confusion. So ito ang sabi ng batas. So a cyber libel case can only be filed where one of the residents actually reside. Okay. So why do we have this discussion on public figure? Kapag public figure na kasi tayo, sports, arts, religious figures, or influencers, medyo mas babawas-bawasan at konti yung ating mga rights to file, no? Libel. So mas mababa na konti yung ating rights, unlike sa private figures lang. So ang sabi dito, a public figure has been defined as a person who by his accomplishments, fame, or mode of living, or by adopting a profession or calling which gives the public a legitimate interest in his doings, his affairs, and his character, has become a public personage. So, sikat ka dahil sa siguro sa yaman mo, sa profession mo, or yung influencer ka, no? Maging public figure ka na, so maging celebrity ka na, sinabi dito. So, you are included in the category or who have achieved some degree of reputation by appearing before the public, as in the case of an actor, an athlete, no, a boxer, or any other entertainment figure. Pero kasali na rin dito yung mga public officers, famous inventors, explorers, war heroes, even ordinary soldiers, an infant prodigy, or no less a personage than the grand exalted ruler of a lodge. It includes, in short, anyone who has arrived at a position where public attention is focused upon him as a person. So yun daw ay public figure na. Ito mga public figures na ito ay sinasabi na to have lost to some extent at least the right to privacy. So ito yung mga rason na binibigay more or less, no? Kasi ito daw sila that their personalities and their affairs are already made public and could no longer be regarded as their own private business. Halimbawa sila Katniel, no? Hiwalay na. So that's already public knowledge and hindi na nila private business yan. Kaya kung may magbatikos sa kanila na medyo libelous, hindi agad-agad nila na makapag-file sila. So meron naman yung privilege ang ating press under the Constitution na i-inform yung public about those who have become legitimate matters of public interest. Or on another of these grounds, sometimes it was held that there was no liability, no? Walang liability doon sa nag-post kapag may additional publicity as to matters legitimately within the scope of the public interest they had aroused. So, merong decided cases po yung ating Supreme Court na kapag nag-forward lang tayo, nag-share ng ibang post, basta hindi natin dinagdagan, binawasan, or iniba, hindi tayo kasali doon sa kaso, except lang yung sa original na tao nag-post sa social media. Ngayon, ito pong ating the privilege of giving publicity to news and other matters of public interest. So, ay matatawag ng news, no? Includes all events, items of information which is out of the ordinary humdrum. So, it have become that indefinable quality of information which arouses public attention. So, yun ang importante, yung it arouses public attention. To a very great extent, the press, with its experience or instinct as to what its readers will want, has succeeded in making its own definitions on news as a glance at any morning newspaper will sufficiently indicate. So, it includes homicides, crimes, arrests, police raids, suicides, marriages, divorces, accidents, death from use of narcotics, a woman with a rare disease, the birth of a child, a 12-year-old girl, the reappearance of one supposed to have been murdered years ago, and undoubtedly many other similar natures of genuine or more or less deplorable popular appeal. So ito daw the privilege of enlightening the public is not however limited to the dissemination of news in the scene of current events. It intended also to information or education or even entertainment and amusement by books, articles, pictures, films, and broadcasts concerning interesting phases of human activity in general, as well as the reproduction of public scene in newsreels and travelogues. So may makikita tayo minsan yung travel blogs or yung mga travel programs, i-feature lang yung mga kainan, yung mga kalye, yung mga ganap dyan sa iba't ibang lugar. So that is only part of the public figure kapag nakikita kayo doon. And in determining where to draw the line, the courts were invited to exercise a species of censorship over what the public may be permitted to read. And they were understandably liberal in allowing the benefit of the doubt. So kapag umabot tayo sa korte, mas binibigyan ng halaga yung freedom of the press, no, and right to information. Kaya kapag public figure na tayo, medyo mahirapan talaga tayo mag-file ng libel case. Ayan, so thank you for following our presentation today, and stay tuned to be able to watch our other topics, this ongoing 18-day campaign to end violence. So, see you later. Bye-bye. This is Atty. Blue Ventosa in behalf of Silangan Multipurpose Cooperative and Co-op NATCO Network.